Can you beat Skyrim by dealing damage only with animals? Before answering this, we have to define what an animal is. There isn't a consensus on what's considered an animal, and even the wikis don't agree on the subject. But a good standard is to judge them based on whether they're affected by the animal allegiance shout. The shout only works on races that have the actor type animal keyword and aren't undead. This means that animal allegiance will affect all of these races and their variants. A good place to start would be to look at dogs. Dogs occupy your pet follower slot, except for Barbas, who follows you as part of the Daedra's Best Friend quest. Aside from Barbas, the dog with the highest amount of health is Vigilance, with 500 HP at level 50. However, before level 34, the Huskies from Dawnguard have higher health. While we're on the topic of Dawnguard, let's talk about Armored Trolls. They also occupy the pet follower slot, and deal considerably more damage than dogs. Armored Frost Trolls deal 65 damage per swing, while dogs only deal 8 damage per bite. But this comes at a cost. The trolls are not protected like dogs, which means they can be killed by attacks from enemies. I'd say that if you can keep them healed, the troll's extra damage is worth it. So outside of pets, what else can we get to fight for us? Horses aren't exactly reliable in combat, but you might consider picking one up for the utility. We can also take a look at albino spiders. Jumping spiders deal a maximum of 154 damage with their explosions, but this also causes them to die immediately. Not very efficient. Cloaked spiders, on the other hand, have 111 health, and their cloaks deal 40 damage per second. On top of that, all albino spiders are immune to their respective element. I prefer having some shock-cloaked spiders to deal with enemy mages. But since you can have 6 of them active at a time, you can mix and match them in any way you like. Now that we have our team of animals, we can take on any threat. Up until the very end of the game. Alduin is a protected NPC, which means he can only be killed by a direct hit from the player. Sounds pretty difficult to overcome, considering our only source of damage is from other actors. But all we have to do is stretch the definition of direct hit a little. When using the animal allegiance shout, the affected animals will have their damage modified depending on the difficulty level. If you're playing above Adept, they will deal less damage, and while below Adept, they deal increased damage, just like the player. This comes with the side effect of treating every animal's attack as if the player dealt the damage. So, if you use animal allegiance on your spiders, they'll be able to kill Alduin. But what if you wanted to really break the game with animals? Well, allow me to introduce you to the pack members. Unlike familiars, pack members are considered wolves by the game. You can summon them using Howl of the Pack, and they can be upgraded to ice wolves by grabbing the Totem of Ice Brothers perk from the werewolf tree. Now, that's great, but you have to be a werewolf to summon them, which is inconvenient considering that werewolf form has a time limit. You also can't use your other spells or access your inventory as a werewolf. But what if I told you that you could use Howl of the Pack as a human? To do this, you first need to join the companions. Sounds simple, until you realize that you need to spar with Vilcus. Normally, your pets won't attack him during the fight, since it's treated more like a brawl. But even if you cast Fury on them, he'll complain that you aren't fighting for yourself. You can get past this by throwing spiders at him. Yeah, I don't know why it works either. I discovered it on accident. Next, become a vampire-werewolf hybrid. If you don't know how to do this, there are plenty of tutorials online. Then complete the Companions quest line and Ayla's Totem quests until you get the Totem of Brotherhood. Obtain the Howl, and then start the Ill Met by Moonlight quest to get the Cursed Ring of Hircine. You see, normally when using beast form, you can't activate the Vampire Lord power during the transformation. But the Cursed Ring of Hircine does not have this limitation. Once you begin a forced transformation, activate Vampire Lord, and it should look a little something like this. Once they're done fighting for dominance, use revert form. If done correctly, you should see werewolf fur appear over your body, and your shouts menu will contain Howl the Pack. Nice. Oh, and you can get rid of the weird werewolf visuals by reading any black book. You may have wondered if werewolf howls are affected by shout cooldown reduction. The answer is yes. They're affected by amulets and shrines of Talos, as well as dragon aspect. So, if we chug a powerful Fortify Restoration potion before equipping an amulet of Talos, we can continuously summon wolves to our aid since there's no summoning cap for the pack members. I wouldn't go too high though. The game doesn't like having a lot of actors loaded at once. Keep in mind that other than their looks and the fact that they don't attack you, the pack members behave like normal wolves, meaning they will attack your allies and other NPCs. Also, town guards will treat you as if you're in werewolf form with this glitch active, and will attack you on sight. But if you do need to go into a town, you can reset the glitch by transforming into a werewolf and reverting to human form. If you thought this video was interesting, please share it. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.